let's watch this JCS video real quick, chat. It's called the night Kaylee went missing. It seems pretty interesting. I don't know. It came out pretty recently. It came out last month, so I had 3 recent videos. It's cool. It was the view. Wait, what? Is Food Wars valid? I never watched Food Wars. You know what? Okay, y'all niggas maybe want to do a fucking... I have done an anime tier list already, but now I want to go through like each individual anime and tell you where I would rank them on the tier list. But I'll do that after the video, maybe. Maybe. I ain't gonna guarantee it, but we'll see. Alright, let's watch this stuff. A seinen tier list? Yeah, maybe a seinen, we'll see. Let's watch this stuff. Let's watch these.
On the Saturday evening of July 23, 2016, 23-year-old dental student Kaylee Sawyer attended a bachelorette party in the small city of Bend, Central Oregon. She was seen dancing at the Mavericks bar with her 2 friends at roughly 10:45 p.m. and was reportedly highly intoxicated at the time. An hour and a half later, at 12:04 a.m., she called her long-term boyfriend Cameron to come pick her up. He said he would, and arrived just 6 minutes later. During the short drive back to their shared apartment, they got into an argument after Kaylee admitted to talking with another guy at the bar. Cameron got annoyed and accused her of flirting with someone else, at which point Kaylee got extremely aggravated and asserted he had done something similar the week before, and that she hadn't attacked him for it. When they arrived at their Alpine Meadows apartment complex, Kaylee was in tears. Her boyfriend told her to take a minute to cool off, and went up to their second-story apartment at exactly 12:14 a.m. Kaylee was left in the car with the keys, but by 12:24, she still hadn't come up. Cameron went back down thinking she had passed out, but when he got to his car, it was empty, with the passenger side door left open and the keys left on the driver's seat. Cameron tried calling, but her phone rang out, so he sent her a text asking where she was and got a reply within 3 minutes. She told him she was sorry she wasn't good enough for him, and then said goodbye. Assuming she was walking to her friend's house roughly 4 miles away, he got back in his car and drove up and down College Way trying to find her, only because he wanted to drive her to her friend's so she wouldn't have to walk in the middle of the night. He couldn't find her, and wasn't aware of her friend's exact address, so he assumed she had arrived at her destination. Cameron then went to sleep, thinking that the best time to talk would be when Kaylee was sober in the morning, but when he tried calling her again at 9 a.m., it went straight to voicemail. Kaylee's phone remained off throughout the day, and her presence on social media abruptly ceased. Her friends and family grew increasingly concerned, and a missing persons report was filed at exactly 7:31 p.m. to the Redmond Police Department. As Kaylee's boyfriend, and being the person she lived with, Cameron was the first to be questioned. He was the last person to see her, and admitted they had gotten into a heated argument on the night she went missing. In most circumstances, this would make someone the prime suspect and the central focus of an investigation, yet the Redmond police would later testify that they were confident he was innocent.
He was forthright with us the entire time. He allowed us to look at his computer, allowed us to look at his phone, allowed us to look in the car, allowed us to go through the apartment. He was so cooperative from the get-go. We've had suspects, boyfriends, husbands, spouses, that have done these similar things that also act obviously cooperative to try to steer us off them. So we weren't ignoring him, but it's hard to put into words. You do this long enough, and sometimes you can just tell when almost like the fear or the sadness isn't genuine, you know? And you could see like he truly had no idea where she was.
Investigators then switched their focus. They wanted to find the identity of the man Kaylee was talking to in the bar the night before. So the next step was to check surveillance and interview each of Kaylee's friends that were out with her that night. However, none of this was carried out, as the very next morning the first lead would emerge. Police officer Isabel Ponce Lara arrived at the Redmond Police Department, stating she had information about the missing girl, and that it involved her own husband.
He's like, I killed a woman, that's what he said. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I hit her with the car.
And what did you say to that?
What?
So I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you hit her? And he's like, yeah, I hit her and I panic. So then I asked him, like, that's what I was trying for him to explain to me. So you hit her with the car, that's an accident.
Yeah.
Why What do you mean you panic? What do you mean?
And what did he say?
He just kept saying I panic, and at that point he's already, like, he got up and he's already, like, going into the room and walking back and forth. And I'm not really quite understanding
What?
what he's telling me. And then he just kept saying, I need to go, I need to go. And then right before he left, he's like, there's her stuff in the shed. It wasn't making any sense to me. But when I saw the stuff,
What?
I'm like, oh fuck.
Her husband was 31-year-old Edwin Lara, a campus security guard at Central Oregon Community College. He drove a work-issued public safety vehicle, which, much like a police car, had a partition divider that separated the front and back seats, and the back doors were unable to be opened from the inside. It was just 30 hours after the missing persons investigation was launched, and police now had their prime suspect. All they knew was that he told his wife he had accidentally killed the victim, stole her firearm before fleeing, and was now unreachable, with his whereabouts unknown. The Redmond police then checked the shed that was mentioned in his wife's statement and made a gruesome discovery. Inside a trash bag was Kaylee's purse, clumps of blonde hair, and a large rock that was covered in blood. The evidence disputed the fact that Kaylee had been hit with a car. Police came to the assumption that the rock was most likely a murder weapon, and the clumps of blonde hair had been ripped out of Kaylee's head as she was subdued, and most likely raped. The Redmond police then switched Kaylee's case from a missing person to a homicide, and her family were made aware that in all likelihood, their daughter was no longer alive. That same evening, at exactly 8:45 p.m., 19-year-old Andrea May walked out to her car after working a double shift at a clothing store in Salem, 2 hours north of where Kaylee went missing. She took a quick selfie on Snapchat and was scrolling through her Facebook newsfeed when all of a sudden a stranger, armed with a gun and wearing a bulletproof vest, opened the passenger side door and got in. He pointed the weapon at her and told her to start driving. Out of fear of her life, she obeyed. He then told her to drive to California, which was a 10-hour journey, but made her pull over after just 1 hour so they could switch seats and he took over the driving. After almost 3 hours, he stopped at a roadside motel in Southern Oregon. He told Andrea to pretend to be his girlfriend, and that if she alerted any suspicion or even made eye contact, he would immediately kill both her and the clerk. The moment he got the keys was captured on surveillance. The clerk would later testify that he knew something was off, as the girl had clearly been crying due to makeup running down her face, and also seemed nervous and fidgety the entire time.
Nah, bro. Bro, that's wild as fuck. What the fuck?
Once inside the motel room, Edwin handcuffed Andrea to the bed and demanded that she took sleeping pills. She initially refused, at which point Edwin pulled out a syringe and said she could either take them willingly or forcefully. She then swallowed 3 tablets of unknown strength, but was smart enough to warn him that she had an STD, and passed out soon after. They left the motel early the
Yo, Simi with the fucking 8 months, my boy. How you doing, bro? What's good with you, man? I heard you were I heard you moved. Wait, I heard you moved, bro. How the move go, man? I just moved too recently, as you can probably see. Long lost brother. What's good, bro? Oh, in 2 days you moved in. Okay. Yeah. I just moved too, bro. It's a lot better, a lot easier to manage and shit. Most definitely. And I see you though, bro. You set up for you, bro. Hey, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I'll be at the wait, you got off stream? Or you been been off the stream? Oh no, yeah, you got it for a while ago. Yeah, okay, I see you, bro. Nice seeing you, bro. Okay, alright, bet. But yeah, but chat, hold up, bro. What the fuck is this guy? What the fuck was? Okay, so this is okay. Obviously, this guy's a criminal. All right, he's obviously a criminal. All right, like at first, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he like hit the, he hit Kaylee, probably ran over her by mistake or some shit, and tried to hide the body. This JCS, that's JCS. I'm thinking he probably tried to hide the body, and all that shit. But that's not really what happened. This man actually, like, sexually assaulted her, and he was basically trying to sexually assault this other girl and shit. He tried to kidnap and shit, bro. What the fuck? Like, it's just crazy. What's good, QX? Oh, you type no? You good? You cool? But bro, so what is he like a serial R-worder? Like, what the fuck is he? What the fuck is he on, bro? What the fuck? Nah, that shit crazy, bro. That is actually crazy. I can't believe these people out there. There's actually niggas out here who do that crazy shit, man. It's disgusting.
The next morning before daylight and continued on to Northern California. By the time they got to Wairika, Edwin noticed the car was leaking oil, so he pulled over at another motel for the purpose of stealing a new vehicle. Andrea pleaded with him to leave her behind, but Edwin told her she had to come with him, and that if she ran, he wouldn't hesitate to shoot her in the back. They walked up to a middle-aged man unloading his car. Edwin pulled out the gun and demanded the keys, but the man refused and yelled out for help instead, at which point he was shot in the stomach. Edwin then grabbed Andrea's arm and ran from the motel toward the gas station next door. They got to a car carrying a family of 3 people, including an elderly woman. Edwin forced Andrea to get in the back seat as he got in the passenger seat, then held the driver at gunpoint as he made him drive away from the scene. He let the family out 15 minutes later, but forced Andrea into the front seat, despite her continuous pleas to let her go. Moments later, he recorded a video on her phone, detailing who he was and what he had done. He then made her post it to her Facebook page and title it Murderer on the Loose. Edwin then called his wife and his family, all of whom told him to turn himself in. He then called 911 at exactly 6:52 a.m.
911 emergency reporting.
Yes, hi. This is Edwin Lara, and I'm the guy on Interstate 5. I am wanted for murder in the state of Oregon.
Okay. Edwin, where are you at right now? Can you stop?
I am going to stop once I hit Redding. Once I'm in Redding, I'm going to stop.
Okay, can you tell me where you are right now?
I have no idea.
Are you by yourself, or?
No, I have someone with me.
So this nigga self-reported?
She's innocent. Her name is Andrea. I'll let her give her last name so you can call her family, okay?
Okay.
Just give me a second.
Hello?
So this nigga self-reported, okay.
Andrea?
Are you hurt at all, Andrea?
No.
No? Okay. Let me talk to Edwin.
I want to understand something, though. I want to understand something, though. Because, look, if it were just like a mistake, like, let's say he accidentally, he accidentally ran over the girl and shit. And, like, he did all this so he didn't get caught. I can understand that. But the man was literally over here, sexually assaulting women and shit, bro. Or, like, what's her name? Andrea? Bro, he was literally about to sexually assault her and shit, bro. So, like, so what the fuck? Yo, good night, Georgia. So, like, what I want to understand, what's the thought process and all that? Like, because obviously, you didn't do this for no reason. You had, there's a reason why you did all this. Like, you're definitely not innocent in any way. It's horrible. I don't understand this. Stop.
Hello?
Yeah, Edwin, you're heading southbound on 5?
Yeah, I'm heading southbound on 5. I'm passing a state trooper, a highway patrol right now.
You're what, sir?
I'm passing a highway patrol.
Are you able to safely find somewhere to stop?
I'm not going to stop right here. I'm just going to turn myself in Corning. Okay?
Are you going to Corning Police, or where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to Corning Police. But I want to ask you a favor.
Uh-huh.
So I have asthma.
You have asthma? Okay.
Yeah, so you tell them not to be too rough on me because, I can barely breathe right now. All right, so that's all I wanted to say.
Do you need any kind of medical, or?
Yeah, well, I think so. I'm going to need my inhaler. I forgot my inhaler at home. I went all over Salem, Oregon, looking for an inhaler, but I guess they don't sell it, you know, behind the counter or out of counter. So
Edwin, how fast are you going?
I'm going
I
about
don't
120
know about
miles
his
an
damn
hour.
inhaler.
20 miles an hour?
Yes.
Can you slow down?
Well, I want to make it there
That
quick.
nigga,
That way I can
that
do
nigga
my
need to
show.
die,
Well,
bro.
the officer sees you. We just don't want you to speed away from anything. If you can stop and just give yourself in, it'll probably be
He
easier.
needs to die.
Well, there's an officer behind me right now.
Okay, they see you. We're talking to them. They see you.
Yeah, she's seeing me. I think it's a she. She's right behind me.
Okay, the officer sees you, and are you able to safely stop?
Yeah, I can stop, but not right now. I'll stop in Corning.
What's the difference from stopping now in Corning?
I just don't want to stop right here in the middle of the road, you know, putting myself in danger and putting everybody else in danger. More
Nigga,
danger.
what?
Edwin, do you have any weapons with you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I do have a gun on me. I am not going to flash the gun, so you tell them not to shoot me.
Okay.
No, I don't want to die.
Okay, you stick by your word, though. I'll let them know.
Yeah, I'm going to let them know. You know, don't hurt Andrea. You know, she's a nice girl. I am wanted for the death of Kaylee Sawyer at Bend, Oregon.
Okay.
And I am very remorseful for that, and, you know.
Okay.
I know her.
Edwin, are you able to stop? The officers behind you, they don't know if you're running and stuff.
Oh, I'll slow down for them.
Okay, you're going to slow down?
Yeah, I'm gonna slow down.
Okay.
You know, I don't want somebody else to get hurt.
Good.
Bro, what is...
So are you going to stop?
I don't understand this man's thought process and what he was like.
Yeah, maybe.
Like why he did what he did and what he was trying to do. I'm not following.
You know, I'm shaking up. I mean, I'm shaking.
I understand.
I don't want to get shot. So, you know, I know this is being recorded, and you know, I just want to say to the family of Kaylee that you know I am sorry. I'm sorry for what I did.
Yeah, I'm sorry
to her, and in time I will tell them where the body is. You know.
Do you wanna?
Yeah, sorry, right? Yeah, you gotta be sorry.
No, I remember.
Okay.
So, I mean,
some other shit or not? He seems cool.
Okay, I'll let you talk to Andrea.
I don't know, bro.
Okay. Are you gonna stop?
Yeah, I'm gonna stop.
Okay,
it's weird.
Make
it's
sure
like,
they can see your hands at all time, okay? Don't hang up.
Like it's hard to call him psychotic. I mean, he is psychotic. It has some psychotic shit. But someone who's like psychotic though, or someone who's not psychotic. No. Yeah. Someone who's not psychotic, they're remorseful. Like they like show some remorse in shit that they've done. You know what I mean? And the fact that he's turning himself in and say all this, even though he doesn't really sound like he's really sorry. I mean, he's still saying that. But I feel like there's something more here because he didn't just accidentally kill somebody. You know, he sexually assaulted them too. So, and he kidnapped someone else and almost sexually assaulted them. So, yeah, I don't know, bro. For now, it's not looking like it's in his favor, as far as I can see. But I gotta see the interview when he got there.
I'm not.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, Andrea. Are you
Hi.
okay? You don't need any medical or anything?
No.
Okay, Edwin, where's his gun at? Does he have it still between his legs?
I don't know.
Can you see it? He said he had it between his legs. Is he stopping?
Yeah.
He is stopping?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make sure your hands are up too and stuff. I know you're on the phone right now, but just hold your hand up so they can see your hands too.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay on the line with you until the officers get there, okay?
Sexually assaulted Kaylee?
And you're gonna be okay.
I think they said that too. At the beginning of the video, that apparently like he sexually assaulted her and then hit her in the head with a rock.
Yeah.
He does have his hands
So
up? Okay.
yeah.
He's already walking towards them.
Why that sound like a Mario coin? Or
It was just after 7 a.m. when Edwin Lara was arrested and taken into custody at the Redding Police Department in Northern California. He was brought into the interrogation room at 1 p.m. It was now exactly 60 hours after Kaylee had gone missing.
Hello, sir. Hi. My name is Sergeant Beckwith.
I'm Mac. Wait, I shouldn't introduce myself because you guys know me.
We know a little bit, right? So a couple things. We got some housekeeping items to talk about before we start talking about things. Those are going to be your Miranda rights and your right to counselor. Sure. And then I wanted to talk to you, just to let you know where I'm coming from, because it sounds like you've done a lot of good things, even to this point. And so we're not really concerned about the NDA at this point. It's going to be about, finding her. Okay. So, but before we do that. Do you have any questions for me on the onset before I advise you of some things?
I'm glad for it.
Because I'm going to advise you of your Miranda rights and your consular rights, okay, right? Before we start talking about things at all. But as far as questions you have before we get into that, I'm all my cards on the table kind of guy. Okay, I'm not going to come here and try to be all tricky or whatever. Detective McLaughlin's the same way. Okay.
Well, all I got to say is that I want to go home.
Okay.
I'm going to do everything possible to go home.
Yes, sir. And home meaning Oregon.
Yes.
Okay.
Because home, right?
Yeah, we're working on that as well. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's something we're working on. Do you want us to notify the consular's office at this time?
No.
Okay.
Try to kiss your listeners.
All right. So here's the thing. I just want to get through the nitty gritty.
I fucking hope so.
We have not been able to find.
I was thinking the maximum.
Can you please help me find her body immediately before we start talking?
Man turned himself in, so I think it might go a little bit easier on him. It's fucking stupid.
The reason why I'm asking you
there's a whole murder case
is I've done this a bunch of times.
I want to tell you where the body is.
Yeah.
I do. But I want to get home first.
Huh?
So here's what I know about this. Hear me out, sir. We can't change what happened. The three of us in this room. And people will care more about what happens right now than what happened before. So, we know that you've been talking to some people, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, you don't have a choice.
And
really
because we have different jurisdictions, I can assure you that right now the DA's office is working on allowing us to take you back to Oregon, okay? But they're still working on that, okay? So in the meantime, we need to consider some things, okay? If this information gets to other people that you were like, hell yeah, I'm going to tell you, but only until I get what I want, they might try to think of this about something different than what it is.
The suspect has stated his desire to be transferred back to Oregon, where his family is, and will only start talking once this is guaranteed. The detective's response is to induce fear. He starts attacking the suspect's character and alludes to the perceptions of others with regard to his character. This type of approach is typically used at the later stages of an interrogation, as building rapport is most often the main focus this early on. The most common approach at this moment would be for the officer to lie and tell the suspect they will do everything in their power to fulfill the request. However, the most common approach is not always the most effective.
Right. And so what I've determined is, and we've looked at this a bunch of times, is I don't think you're a bad guy.
The detective now elevates the suspect's character by what's known as reframing. He presents a different way of looking at the situation, which puts the suspect in a more favorable light. This is the perfect approach to take at this moment, yet the detective marginally slips up. He appears to get slightly aggravated once the suspect breaks eye contact and reverts back to a mild display of aggression.
Right? I think that things have spun completely out of control, sir. Sir, am I right? Okay.
The detective seems to have a hard time in concealing his disgust and anger. It's a slip of the mask, but fortunately isn't too drastic at this early stage.
But, that being said, you know from your training and your education that we have a massive load of resources right now dedicated to one thing, and that's to serve the victim's family, okay? And they need that, and they need that right now. And so, I need you to remember that it doesn't matter so much about what happened as what you do now.
Yeah. And you know this, man.
Matt wants to do a map.
I could draw a whole map.
Can I say the story what happened first?
Yeah, as you're drawing, please, or whatever you'd like to do, sir. wants to get you out of that stuff.
Highway from, yeah.
It says you'll see it right away.
Buried in the ditch.
I don't lie, he looks like somebody I know. Actually, he looks like one of my ex-managers.
Crossing that mailbox. Right.
Like from years ago.
You're doing good.
My old job.
You know what? This is not easy. Or you might be a little bit scared. We're going to hear what you have to say. We really, really want to. I'm thankful, and so is Sergeant Beckwith, that you know what the right thing to do is right now, and that's to help us locate her, for her family, for the community, for us, for you, for your wife, all that good stuff, okay? So I'm thankful to you. I want to say that right away, that you hear what this man has to say, and that you've got a heart inside of you. And I know, because I was in your house. I saw the Bible. I know you thumb through it a lot. I see that you've tithed for months consecutively. I know you have God in your heart, okay? And that's just not a trick. That's eternal, right? You know that. But I'm not talking about this moment. I'm talking about the big picture, okay? And so I appreciate your honesty.
So, what happened, man? What happened?
Yeah.
Like the straight up.
Let's hear what happened.
So I was putting the signs up where there was an event going on.
It's a
School, college. Cyclist event or whatever. You know, I was in a hurry because I want to get out of here. And I was going to turn south on College Way on the D4 lot. So I was going to turn south on the do not enter area there.
It's worth noting that investigators had already come up with their own detailed account of what most likely happened, which was that Edwin offered Kaylee a ride, and that she trusted him because of his occupation and the vehicle he was driving. Once she got in, he drove to a secluded area, raped her, and then murdered her with the rock that was found in his shed.
Wait. Let me hear that again.
You know, I was in a hurry because I want to get out of here.
Let me hear that again.
And I was going to turn south on College Way on the D4 lot. So I was going to turn south on the do not enter area there.
It's worth noting that investigators had already come up with their own detailed account of what most likely happened, which was that Edwin offered Kaylee a ride, and that she trusted him because of his occupation and the vehicle he was driving. Once she got in, he drove to a secluded area, raped her, and then murdered her with the rock that was found in his shed. They will entertain his version of events to start with, but then push for further admission once they attain his baseline narrative.
And I didn't see
Nah, bro. Nah, that's actually pretty fucked. Bro, you know... Dude. Yo, good night, Zay. Dude, you know what kind of sicko you have to be to want to, like, sexually assault? Like, you have to be... No, you have to be a certain level of evil to do that shit, dude. Like, on some G shit. How would you ever want to do that to somebody, bro? Why would you ever want to do that to some shit? Like, why would you ever want to do that to somebody, bro? But it's even worse to do that and then murder that person right after. Like, that's just sick. That's just fucking sick. And it's like, kind of just thinking about it, I feel bad that, you know, Kaylee, she's the victim. I feel bad that she lost her life, but also, I mean, really thinking about it is the fact that, like, you know, she just had to, like, suffer, I guess. Like, imagine having to live with the fact that someone did that to you, and it's like you can't really do anything about it, bro. It must be fucking horrible. And this guy's a fucking piece of shit. I'll be fucking kill him. Like the fuck is wrong with him, bro? It's weird. And yeah, and on top of that, he killed her with a rock, a massive rock, bro. And I'm pretty sure, honestly, with that, he most likely hit her on the head multiple times with that rock. It wasn't just like one little thing. Like, he did it multiple times. It was unacceptable, bro. On man might be right. Fuck human race for real, bro. It's crazy. There are a lot of humans in this world who are actually good, and there are a good amount of them that are incredibly bad, and they need like to be eradicated, literally eradicated, bro. I want to achieve some stuff and actually live an amazing life. I'll be sick of someone like this kills me and he's immensely shitty. On God, bro. Nigga.
So I was in a hurry, so it was my fault. And I wasn't expecting anybody, you know, at that time of night. So I just turned and I mean, I didn't hit her that hard.
And it's crazy.
With the patrol car, bumped her with the front rack.
And it's crazy because look at here. He's making a whole fake separate story to try and cover his own ass and make it seem like it was like an accident, like it was manslaughter and shit. When literally none of that happened. And I ain't gonna lie, this guy's an actual dumbass. Like, he's actually pretty stupid because let's you know, obviously you already told him where the body is. When they find the body, they're gonna like do an autopsy and they're gonna find out that literally, you know, the little thing, the little blunder that you know put on her head and everything, it's not gonna align with you know, hitting her with the car. So this guy's a dumbass. All right, he's already done. You know, I don't see what's point in lying about that.
And she fell down, and at first I thought, you know, first thing I was, oh, I killed her, you know, but I didn't hit her that hard.
On God, Renegade.
So I got off the car, and she was really drunk, and then she looks at me, and then she started screaming.
She started screaming,
Yeah,
or you did?
She did. So I panic and I just grab her by the throat and told her, shut up, shut up, shut up. So she passed out. I put her on the back of the patrol car, drove her up the B12 lot.
The fuck?
And then I was panicking, I didn't know what to do. She already seen me, she saw my face. So I opened the door. And that's when she came back. She started screaming again. So I grabbed the chokehold. And I was telling her, shut up.
Bro, his story doesn't even make sense, bro. Like, hold up. Actually, what we guys
Turn and at first I thought, you know, first thing I was, oh, I killed her, you know, but I didn't hit her that hard. So I got off the car and she was really drunk. And then she looks at me and then she started screaming.
She was drunk.
She started screaming,
Yeah,
or you did?
She did. So I panic and I just...
That makes no sense though. Why would she just be screaming? Why would she just be randomly screaming after you like, you know, after you came to check on her? Like, does that make sense? Like, I'm pretty sure you hit somebody with a car, and you know, like they wouldn't be screaming like ah, no, they'd be like, you know, groaning like ah, like, you know, that type of shit. He wants to downplay what he did, yeah, most likely. But it's like, if you're gonna lie about your story, at least make it sound believable. That makes no fucking sense. I don't get why she'd be screaming randomly. And also, I mean, it doesn't make you look any better either because you're trying to silence her and kill her. So it's still murder. It's still first degree murder. Actually, no, not first degree murder. It's actually second degree murder. But actually, the actual case it's not second degree murder. This whole entire thing is first degree murder. He premeditated this. He planned to pick her up and then, you know, do all that shit. But his case is if he were to get like sentenced for this case, it would be second degree. So, yeah, I don't know what he's trying to do here.
Oh, shut up, shut up.
Because of the pain.
So she passed out, put her on the back of the patrol car,
I don't know.
drove her up the beats were flat.
I don't know, man.
And then I was panicking, I didn't know what to do. She already seen me, she saw my face. So I opened the door, and that's when she came back. She started screaming again. So I grabbed the chokehold. And I was telling her, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. She was just struggling to scream. So I threw her down and I hit over the rock on the head.
The fuck?
After that, I dragged her body behind a tree there and I hit her with another rock.
What?
And that's when I think she died because I heard her breathing her last breath.
He goes on to state that he left her body in the deserted parking lot, goes home to wash his clothes, drives back with his personal car, wraps her body in a plastic sheet, and puts her in the trunk.
Watching
So
JCS.
what happened next? So I drove her to a ditch by close to my parents' house.
Thank you, Greggy.
And she was kind of heavy, you know. So I just grabbed her and pretty much ripped everything off her, like her clothes. I threw her in the ditch.
Wait.
He goes home,
Whoa,
but
wait,
then
wait,
returns
wait,
soon
wait,
after
wait,
to-
wait, 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 wait.
And
What do you say?
I drove her to a ditch by close to my parents' house. And she was kind of heavy, you know. So I just grabbed her and pretty much ripped everything off her, like her clothes.
Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you? This guy's a dumbass. This guy is actually a dumbass. Does that make any sense to you? So what? So you have a dead body and you're grabbing it by the clothes. You just grab her by the clothes and just rips off, right? What sense does that make? I'm pretty sure if you have a dead body, you drag it by the legs. You know, I mean, I've seen movies and shit, but you know, either by the legs or you pick her up or you know something like that. Why would you grab her by the clothes? That makes no sense. How you, bro? This nigga's a dumbass, bro. You already fucked up. You're going to prison, bro. They're giving you the maximum. You're an idiot. You're just stupid. Oh my god.
Threw her in the ditch.
He goes home, but then returns soon after to move the body to a more secluded location.
You know, and at this time I was feeling really bad, you know, because I've never killed anybody yet. I feel really bad about her, about the girl.
What do you think? Honestly, I know what he did. Honestly, I know what he fucking did.
She didn't deserve to die.
But I'm going off his story and why he said what he said. Because it doesn't make any sense.
I was feeling really bad about what I went to. Because she's my everything. And I know that most likely I will die in prison. And that's gonna be one of the things that
Wow, why did I give you mod again?
I'm gonna take my heart. Isabel.
I think he was saying that she was heavy, so he decided to take off her clothes to make her lighter. No, but that doesn't make any sense either, Drippy. Like, because how does her clothes rip off? How would you? I mean, unless you like tore off the clothes, which makes no sense. You don't have to tear off her clothes like that. But either way, like, why would you just? You just take off her shirt and all that stuff. And you want to make her light. Like that doesn't make any sense. The clothes themselves don't weigh that much. Unless you're wearing like heavy, like a trench coat or something like that. I mean, I doubt she's wearing heavy clothes. So that doesn't make any sense. What? Yeah, he said he's pulling for the clothes. Yeah. And either way, I mean, even your point, like, what sense is it? Why would you even pull her from the clothes? If you're innocent, why would you? Well, you're not innocent. Obviously, you're guilty. But why would you pull her from the clothes and not from like her, her legs or what I mean? It's just there's no logic here being used. Your story's not logical.
And I know this is being recorded.
Nah.
Apologize.
I don't think that's what he was saying.
To the dad, I know the dad has been looking for her nonstop. I apologize. She looked like a really nice girl, and she didn't deserve what I did. I woke up with this thing in my heart, like heavy, and I'm like, so I knew that from the moment I told my wife she's going to turn me in, because I know her. And she loves her job and she loves what she's doing now. And I knew she was going to do it, no matter how much she loves me. So I told her with that purpose. I told her I killed this girl. I'm gonna walk out of here. I'm gonna drive out of here. You do your thing. She's like, why are you putting me in that spot? I'm like, because I know you're gonna do the right thing. I know you're not gonna be my accomplice because you're not that type of woman.
Yeah.
So she kept
He's going for a long ass time, bro.
Don't leave. Just turn yourself in.
Even with the best lawyer, that is going away for a long time.
I don't want to spend the rest of my life in prison.
He recounts the events leading up to the morning he left the roadside motel with his abductee, Andrea.
I mean, I knew sooner or later I was going to get caught.
Oh! And he shot a store clerk, by the way. He did shoot a store clerk in the stomach. It wasn't fatal, but it was still attempted murder, so that's another charge. And a stolen vehicle.
Trying to buy some time.
I was trying to buy some
time.
Yeah,
and also stolen vehicle. That is another thing too.
Did you talk to your family?
Yeah, he's pretty much fucked up.
How'd that go?
He's done.
Not so good. My grandpa told me that I screwed up my life. My mom and dad can believe it, or my stepdad, I should say. He's like my dad. Can't believe it. They were very concerned about me.
A large middle segment of the footage was cut. For whatever reason, the district attorney refused to release it. But what we know is that the investigators managed to get Edwin to drastically change his story. He goes from stating that he accidentally ran the victim over to now intentionally picking her up. He claims to have thought she was a prostitute, tried to solicit her for sex, and then panicked once she refused and affirmed that she was in fact a student. He said that he initially tried to make sure that she wouldn't call the police before letting her go, and that she then started screaming once he wouldn't let her out of the car, at which point he panicked and thought he had no other choice but to kill her. He goes on to state that he first got into the back and choked her unconscious. He then took her to a secluded parking lot and then bludgeoned her to death with a rock. There was no mention of sexual assault. The fact that he thought she was a sex worker is highly implausible, as prostitution in the area was unheard of, whereas drunken students walking home was a common occurrence, and they would often get a ride from public safety officers if they were to pass one. The suspect would have known that a young woman staggering home was most likely a drunk student as opposed to a prostitute. The detectives know this, and now try to push for the next step of admission. They attempt to get him to admit that his immediate intention was to both rape and murder the victim as soon as he saw her walking alone on the road.
So a couple things you need to understand, and we're finally getting to the real problem here.
This guy's a dumbass, bro.
Is you knew she was
None of the
gonna
story
be in that
checks out.
car.
Literally, none of the story checks out at all.
Well, let me finish. You need to let me finish, right? Because I know this, okay?
Sean
Because you
just
said
said
you're a
paying
hooker.
for
She's like,
ass.
no. Immediately you go
Yeah.
give me your purse and your
I
phone.
can imagine that, bro. Oh my god.
She wasn't gonna survive that encounter, was she?
No, it
Because
was
you can't rape her and let her live, can you?
And she can't make a phone call if you have it.
I wasn't gonna rape her.
Well, you can't let her live.
Edwin, we're missing something here, man.
Look, yeah, I know what you guys are thinking, and it makes perfect sense. It does.
Because
Why would you ask?
where you got-
Why would you ask for her purse? What was in your head that made you want her purse?
Because, you know,
Just in case she had a gun, she could defend
was-
herself.
She was gonna use her phone.
to call 911, call for help.
So, but listen to this. According to your story, this is where it does not make sense. If your intent isn't already there to do some kind of harm or some kind of evil to her, some friggin' evil that's there, bro. It's there. You just gotta face it down, man. You can't cower away from it. You face that damn thing down right now. If you know the only way, if you don't have intent in her head, your thought is, I gotta keep that phone away from her because she's gonna call from help before anything bad's even happened. You've already made a decision. Am I right or am I wrong?
Exactly.
Help me.
So, I made the decision at that time to silence her.
To kill her. Let's be real. When you say silence her, you mean kill her. Is that correct?
Yeah, to kill her. Yeah.
Because
When did you make that decision?
when she started screaming, because she had seen my face.
But you already grabbed her phone. You already kept her away from making a call for help or contacting someone. So you're already preserving yourself. So I'm thinking it's before, when you ask for the purse, I think you already know in your head, I'm going to silence her. I'm going to kill her. Why else would you ask?
So, when she gave me her, like, she had her phone, because I knew her phone was back there. Like, it just clicked on my head, and I put her purse back there, her phone is in there, you know. So I told her, give me the purse. So she hands over the purse, and I'm like, your phone is not in here. And she goes, yes, it is. So I start digging in the purse with this hand, and I find the phone, and it's there. So, and, you know, very relieved, but at this time she's struggling with the door, and I'm telling her, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
You know why you felt relieved when you found that phone? You know why? Tell me why you felt
She
relieved.
wasn't calling her help.
And she was never gonna get away.
Because she had seen my face already.
She was already seen her face, and you already knew what you were gonna do.
No.
You were gonna silence her. You already told us that.
Well, yeah, but
Why else would you grab her phone?
because
No, Thais, he did.
from the moment,
He did.
that's when I knew that she wasn't a hooker. You know,
And she's gonna tell. She's gonna say something.
if I let her out of the car, she's gonna go say, hey, you know, security guard raped me or something.
Do you have dominion over a woman?
Dominion?
Mm-hmm. Dominant. Is there anything about her life that means less than yours? Okay.
But you told us earlier when you were trying to carjack people in Salem, you wanted a woman who was weaker.
Weaker woman, because I knew a guy was gonna fight me and I didn't want to kill anybody.
Right? So you have dominion.
I don't
What
necessarily.
I guess what I'm getting at with that question is that at some point or another, something as minor as an offensive comment, are you a hooker?
From the clock.
I mean, honestly, what we've approached there is you possibly losing your job for offending somebody. Okay, people are offended every day. People lose their job for offending people every day. That all of a sudden became more important than the life of a human being that you say is equal.
I think
This is a very bizarre set of questions, especially considering what the detectives are trying to achieve. They are attempting to get the suspect to confess to first-degree murder with special circumstances, along with rape in the first degree. By attacking his character like this, and alluding to his supposed warped view on women, he will be unlikely to give further admission. It's more likely to get his guard back up and make him focus on preserving what he has left of his reputation. The detectives should instead be downplaying the crimes. They should be reframing his motives as both understandable and uncontrollable, almost as if premeditated rape and murder could be committed by anyone on a bad day.
She honestly thought that I was gonna do something.
You were, man. And when that's
Because-
the problem right now, you were. You absolutely
At first I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Well,
Sir.
let me back up. Let's just settle this right now. When you saw that girl and you picked her up, were your intentions to help her because you're a security guard on the campus and people look up to you? Was your intent to find some way to help her?
Fuck no.
Or was your intent to find a way to f her, either by paying for sex or taking sex? And when things went south, you knew you had to kill her because now the person she looks to for safety and security wants something from her that she doesn't want to give him.
Once again, instead of downplaying the crimes, he lays out the scene in a blunt manner. He makes his disgust at the alleged conduct far too noticeable when he should be remaining indifferent at minimum. Some investigators would even be able to feign companionship and sympathy at this moment, which would significantly increase the likelihood of further admission.
So when I picked her up, because usually when we help someone, we call her on the radio.
Did you call her on the radio?
No.
Oh, okay then.
Because
Alright then.
I thought she was up. And when I realized she wasn't up there, I felt discovered. Oh, crap. Now she's gonna go tell the whole world that I was looking for sex.
Oh, wow, how weird would that be for a dude to be looking for sex? See what I'm saying? And that's not that bad.
Dudes
right?
look for sex.
Dudes look for sex.
Well, yeah, but not a security guard that is supposed to protect.
What's going on, Luca? How you doing, bro?
I think you just said it, man.
Another random dude walking on the street.
So are we lucky in the fact that the first time you can't control your urge to have sex with a beautiful woman, that we catch you?
The sound that you heard after the strike of the first rock, before you hit her with the second, is agonal breathing, and you know this. It's the sound of life leaving her body. It's the sound of the life God breathed into her, leaving her, and her life being no more, going away, being done. It's the sound of everyone loving her, mourning. It's the sound of her blood crying out from the friggin' earth. Right? You know this. You need to hear it though. Okay? I respect you enough, Edwin, at this point, that I've asked you for detail, and now I'm going to give you my own. Okay? Those are the cold hard facts. Does God still love you? Will He forgive you? Will He bring you back into His heart? Will He?
This is actually quite a good strategy, as the suspect is highly religious, yet the focus should be kept on this element as opposed to the magnitude of the crime, which the detective for some reason
Damn, and
continues
he's
to
religious
incorporate
too?
into the dialogue.
Questions you have to answer for
You're
yourself.
religious and you're over here
But the
sexually
truth of
assaulting
the
women
matter
and
is,
shit and
their
murdering
blood cries
them?
out, man.
That's crazy.
That her life is gone.
Hell is hot for
Never
you,
be
boy.
replaced. The truth of the fact is this.
Hell is
when
hot.
you mistook for a hooker was an absolute angel, was the apple of her mom and dad's eye, was the breath that they breathed, that they spent and cultivated all their life raising and growing. And she is gone forever with your semen all over her.
Although the detective's approach is somewhat miscalculated, this is a highly revealing moment, as there is no denial whatsoever from the suspect about his semen being on the victim.
Yeah, okay.
That's the truth, man.
He's kind of... he's going a little bit all over the place here. No pun intended, but yeah. This man's over here... I don't know what he's doing. I don't know, he's getting like a... Has like a porn scene out here or something. I don't know, but yeah, he's talking about semen all over her or whatever. I don't know. That wasn't in the information, but yeah, yeah. Good try, good job, man.
Okay, it's brutal. It's hard to say. It's hard to sit in here, but you gotta face it before you can look your God in the eye and ask for that forgiveness and be able to receive it.
The investigators get no further admission from this moment on. This enabled the suspect to eventually take a plea deal in order to avoid the death penalty in 2017. They needed a confession of either rape or attempted rape to remove any sort of leverage from his defense. His sentencing hearing commenced on January 22nd, 2018.
This morning, 32-year-old Edwin Lara pleaded guilty to aggravated murder in the death of 23-year-old Kaylee Sawyer. This plea deal means he will avoid a possible death sentence. Amy Frazier is live in Bend, where she's been at that hearing. Amy?
Well, Kaylee Sawyer's family and friends have packed a courtroom here today as they face her killer. There's been both tears and intense anger as they tell the judge how Kaylee's murder has impacted their lives. At about 9:30 this morning, 32-year-old Edwin Lara pleaded guilty to 1 count of aggravated murder. He went on a multi-state crime spree, kidnapping a woman in Salem and then driving to California, where he's accused of shooting a man and then carjacking a family before being caught. This morning, Kaylee's grandfather told the court he has 3 wishes.
Number 1, to have our Kaylee back with us, alive and well, and pursuing her life. Number 2, I wish to have this piece of garbage, the defendant, sentenced to death for what he's done to my Kaylee. And number 3, I wish the court system in the state of Oregon would just hand him over to me and allow me to administer the death sentence.
Kaylee's mom also spoke today, calling Lara a
God.
monster. More family and friends will speak later this afternoon.
I like those
the
conditions.
judge is expected to sentence
like
him
those
later
conditions right
today
there.
or tomorrow. We just found out a little while ago that the judge has sentenced Edwin Lara to spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of release, without the possibility of parole. In July of 2016, Kaylee went for a late-night walk. Lara, who was working as a security guard at Central Oregon Community College, lured and trapped her in the back seat of his patrol car. Prosecutors say he took her purse and phone and drove her to a remote parking lot on campus. Prosecutors say he sexually assaulted her, and Kaylee fought for her life. Lara then, we're told, used a large rock to kill her and then dumped her body off the highway near Redmond. Now, just before being sentenced today, Lara addressed Kaylee's family and the court.
God Almighty, who art in heaven, all Elohim will deny.
Nigga praying and shit.
I'll ask you, please, heal the hearts, all those broken hearts of this community.
This nigga praying. Please.
All along, Kaylee's family has said they want her to be remembered for the
video?
joy and the love that she brought to life.
Crazy.
They say justice is now served, but it doesn't ease their pain. Again, Edwin Lara will spend the rest of his life in prison without, we're told, any chance of ever getting out. Reporting live in Deschutes County, Amy Frazier, KOIN 6 News.
That's crazy.
I feel like I'm really just grateful.
That's fucking crazy, bro.